Lesson study is a process whereby teachers as a team collaborate, develop a lesson that one of those people in the team volunteers to teach, and it's taught, it's observed by the other people in the team. The team comes back, has a discussion around it, what worked, what didn't work, what they think might need to be changed, and then another volunteer from that group reteaches the same lesson with its adjustments to a different group of children, and then the observation and discussion is had again around that. The team leaders were the first people to do the lesson study and be the person to teach the lesson, and that way everybody felt it was okay. Lesson study is a very non-judgmental strategy to use. It's not about the teacher because the lesson is developed as a team, and it is a team effort, so it's around the strategy itself. It's not the teacher, it's not individualised. We're not looking at the teacher, we're looking at the strategy, we're looking at the things that are happening in classrooms to improve student outcomes.
At first, the students are really scared because they've got other teachers coming in the classroom. They feel really overwhelmed and think that all the teachers are there for them. So basically what we usually do before we do our lesson study, scaffold the students and remind them that lesson study is basically not to observe the students. It's basically us and other teachers visiting the classroom to think of ways of how we can improve student learning.
Our aim today is to look at student self-directed learning in stage 3.
Like Jan said, it is SOLS, so it's self-organised learning environments. So it's very student directed. So they've got a big question that they're researching and answering. They organise their own groups, and at the end they present one fact that they've found and then reflect on their learning in a group.
As observers, we don't interfere with the natural process of the lesson. We don't talk or carry on a sidebar conversation during the lesson. We can circulate around the room when the children are engaged, but not when it's a teacher and class situation. We stand to the back and the sides, and it's about the goals of the lesson. It's not about Amanda's teaching or Amanda. It's about the goals of the lesson, what's happening in the lesson, and what we can see from there. And of course, we're embedding all of those things that we've been talking about and learning about in professional learning.
Why is SOLS important? Why are those skills important? I know you all came up with your own success criteria. You've got them on your checklist. Hands up who can give me one example of something that they put for their success criteria. I think it went well. They love SOLS, they're very engaged with it. You can see that they self-organise. I think they're just so engaged with the process, and you can see that they're connecting the skills, they're connecting the success criteria, and they're doing that in other subjects as well now. So it's nice to see a class that can self-regulate their learning.
It worked well, and there wasn't any behaviour problems. Everybody was on task, and in the end they did produce some good, relevant information.
Jalal, do you just want to give us a brief rundown on what's going to happen today?
Okay, so students in 5-6A and 5-6C have been undertaking learning using the SOL model in order to develop their critical and creative abilities within the ICT capability. We all came together after Amanda did her first lesson study, and we realised that to change it for my lesson study, we'll do a buddy class. So Amanda did her SOL with her class, my class is a buddy class, so mine is half of 5-6A and half of 5-6C. What we're going to do today is continue our SOL session that we worked on yesterday. You'll all be presenting your information to the whole class, so make sure each one of you has something to present, and you record and share your findings at the end. Okay, so you can start your SOL session, and also don't forget to put up your vocab and your websites, please. You'll have 20 minutes, so keep an eye on the timer. You can move around the room or sit on the floor wherever you like. You can start now.
One of the things about lesson study is that, you know, you teach, you change what needs to be changed, and then you reteach. And we've done that today. And you talked about the reteach being how you changed it up. Can you just refresh us on that one?
So the reteach of Amanda's lesson study was Amanda conducted her soul session with her class, whereas for my session we changed it up with students from 5-6A and 5-6C. So we halved our class up roughly, and we called it the buddy class, and that was a strategy that we adopted from the soul program when we were doing our program there. The reason why we did that is just to challenge the students. We found that the kids, while they were doing it in our class, were always going in the same groups. We thought, let's see how the dynamics change if we buddy them up with different students and challenge them. I believe the lesson went really well. I think our outcome was achieved. All the kids were engaged, all of them were on task, all of them completed everything that they needed to do in their success criteria.
I really think that the learning intention was really nailed, and if we really look at the learning intention, which was to work collaboratively, locate, analyse, summarise and evaluate sources using technology, it's that broad concept of learning intention. So looking at learning intentions I think was really great.
Difficulties is mainly the pressure of it. We know that teachers across the school are there to support us, but it is quite nerve-wracking thinking that you're going to have a group of teachers coming in and viewing your lesson. However, the first few times we did it, we realised that it's constructive. No one's there to give you negative feedback or say that you're not teaching well. It's really a great tool to become a more proficient teacher.
Lesson study has allowed us to see how our professional learning and the strategies that we're talking about and learning to improve student outcome, it allows us to see how it's been embedded in classrooms. And because we do it K-6 and because we share across stages now, it allows all of us to see how it's been embedded, but it also gives us lots of ideas that we can actually take and modify to use in our own classrooms.